Divank is a 10th-century Armenian monastery in the Văzăr province of Armenia, along the Vase-Germic Road. The monastery was built in 931 to 938 by Princess Sophia of Sayunik. She stated the purpose of her building the monastery as, "Văzăr was a ring without a jewel, but I built this monastery as the jewel for the ring." Priest Sargis was the first abbot of the church. There is also another version of the etymology of the name, according to which the princess sold her earrings so that they could finish the construction works of the church, and the monastery was named Divank for that reason. Makaravank is a 10th to 13th century church complex near the Akajur village of Tavush province, Armenia, located on the slope of Patatap mountain. Complex of Makaravank ranks among Agtimar, Belino Nuravank, Ganzasar with its originality, richness and variety of ornaments, and occupies an important place in Armenian architecture. Though the monastery is no longer used for services, the complex is well preserved. The monastery was also sometimes called a gravavank. The materials used in its construction, large pieces of roughly hewn red tuff, were mostly. There are 4 churches. One of the churches, named Serb Asvetsatsan Church, was built in 1198. Kaptavank or Armeinia Monastery is located in the village of Kaputen Kotek region of Armenia, a hill on the left side of the pass between the Hadis and Gatanasar mountains, at an altitude of 1800. Church of Armeinia was erected in 1349 with purely hewn stones of blue basalt, possibly hence its other name Kapwitvank or Kaptavank. In 1839 the church was in relatively good condition. The Armeinia Church or Kaputavank is one of those monuments that appeared in Armenian Christian religious architecture only in the first half of the 14th century. Ganzasar is a 13th century Armenian cathedral near the village of Vank, in the region of Nagorno-Karabakh. It has historically been the most important church of Artsakh. The name Ganzasar, which means treasure mountain in Armenian, is believed to have originated from the tradition that the monastery was built on a containing ores of silver and other metals. Hill Kochkars dated 1174, 1182 and 1202 have been found around the monastery, which also point to the existence of a site. Church or monastery of the main church was built between 1216 and Lof in the Armenian Prince of 1238 by Hasan Jalalayan, the Tf in Kachin. Juktak Lank is an 11th or 12th century monast situated in a clearing within Dilijan National Park, 2 km northwest from the town of Dilijan in the Tavush province of Armenia. The Burger Church of Serbo Gregor has a small cruciform central plan. Serb Gregor is likely to have been built in the 11th or 12th century. The smaller church of Serb Astuatsatsan sits nearest Gregor to the west, and has the following inscription written upon it. In the year 1201 in the Emirdom of Lasha and the native Viharapet abbot of Serb Petros Monastery, built Serb Astratsatsan with the hope that every sunrise in both vestibules one mass will be offered for me and one for my brother Shmavan, and in all the churches for my parents. Savanavank is a monastery complex located on a peninsula at the northwestern shore of Lake Savan in the Big Harkunik province of Armenia, not far from the town of Savan. After the artificial draining of Lake Savan, the water level fell about 20 meters. According to an inscription in one of the churches, the monastery of Savanavank was founded in 874 by Princess Mariam, the daughter of Ashat I. At the time, Armenia was still struggling to free itself from Arab rule. Reconstruction and restoration efforts took place from 1950 to 1967. Sbatibird is a medieval fortress located upon the crest of a hill between the villages of Artabink and Sagagis in the Văzăr province of Armenia. May have existed as early as the 5th century or earlier, although other sources date it to the 9th to 18th centuries. Its large basalt walls have been well preserved, but much less remains of the structures inside the fortress. Served as the main fortress of the Armenian princes of Sayunik. Smbatoberg means fortress of Smbat in Armenian, and has traditionally been called by this name by the inhabitants of the area. The construction and name of Smbatoberg are traditionally connected with the 10th century Prince Smbat of the Sayant dynasty. Tegher Monastery is an early 13th century Armenian monastery and church located on the southeastern slopes of Mount Aragats near the modern village of Tegher and across the gorge from the village of Bayuriken in the Aragatsith province of Armenia. It was built for Princess Khatun. Church was built in 1213 and is constructed from dark gray basalt. It is a cruciform type plan with a chamber in each of the four corners and a semicircular apse of the end of the hall. A central tall round drum rests above with a tent-style dome supported by the corners. The roof of the church is gabled. Dadavank or Kutavank is an Armenian apostolic monastery in the Kalbajar of Artsakh. It was built between the 9th and 13th centuries and is one of the main monasal complexes of medieval Armenia. The monastery is said to have been founded by Saint Dodi, a disciple of Thaddeus the Apostle who spread Christianity in eastern Armenia during the 1st century AD. However, the monastery is only first mentioned in the 9th century. In July 2007, the grave said to belong to Saint Dodi was discovered under the holy altar of the main church.
Serb Givorg, also known as Aki Serb Givorg Monastery, is situated 4 kilometers northeast of Chachin, Sidashin, village in the Askaran region of Artsakh, close to Alubab. The structure is located on the top of the same Nadand mountain, or Givorg. This is a